Welcome back.
We're back in the pod.
Yes, we are.
And it is, it's actually, is it going to rain today?
No, I don't think so.
It looks like it's not going to rain, but I think it's going to rain during the week. So I think it's, the storm has just changed.
Beautiful day today. Sunday for us right now. You guys listening, it'll be Monday.
Yes, happy Monday.
Mm-hmm.
The second week of December has commenced.
Yes, it has.
People are, the hustle and bustle of Christmas shopping has also commenced.
Yep.
Because
people get crazy this time of year.
The parking lots are insane.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in the rain. And
I know.
I don't know if I don't think I need to go anywhere today. I'm just going to do an Instacart.
Oh, we're going to get out of the house today.
We are?
It's a nice day.
What's there to do?
I don't know. Find something to do.
It's not that nice of a day.
Yeah,
it's
I don't want to be depressed in the house.
Let me see.
I got to get out of the house.
It's only going to be 53 of a high today.
So what? It's a nice day. Sun's out.
Does being in the house depress you?
I mean, it's raining. We haven't did nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's been raining the last few days. It's just, I like to get out of the house. Yes, I don't like to be in the house.
I'm okay with being in the house.
I don't like to be in the house. It's not good for my mentals. I like to get out of the house. It's a Sunday. You know, what am I going to be in the house doing what?
You have no car?
Nah. Actually, there is an event I could go to today in Morgan Hill.
An event, really? And
a toy drive.
Oh.
I'm not sure who's going, though. Mm-hmm.
That's nice, the toy drives when they do that.
Yeah. There's a lot of that this time of year.
I really scratched the itch on a craving yesterday. If for our local listeners, the Falafel House Drive-In is a staple in the Bay Area. It's on San Carlos. It's kind of near Valley Fair.
Yep.
It's old. I don't even know how long it's been there, but I've been going there since high school. I discovered it in high school. And the falafel wrap is so good. You know, I'm on such a Mediterranean kick because I eat falafel almost every single day.
Yeah.
But at least it's got protein in it.
Yeah, it's good.
But it scratched the itch. But fried foods, because the falafel balls are fried, like deep fried at this place. So it's definitely a treat. Fried foods makes me gassy. I have not been getting TMI, guys, but...
TMI.
Sorry.
Listeners are probably like, hello. It's all good, though.
But yeah, like I was
what?
The
oils they fried in probably don't do
because
good.
Normally, even after a cheat day, if I have something really indulgent, I don't feel that way. But the oil did not sit well with me. That's why it's definitely a treat, like a once in a while thing when it comes to something that I can tell my body didn't like. But it was so good. But the healthier version I make of it with the baked falafel balls from Trader Joe's is really good too.
That's good.
So, but I want to try to like copy their tahini dressing because I think that's the magic.
Yeah,
is that dressing?
It's all in the dressing.
It's like what I notice is it's a real thin consistency. So I think it's a lot of water. I think it's a lot of water, lemon juice, and just a little bit of tahini paste because tahini paste is a lot of calories.
Yeah.
You know what tahini's made out of?
No, I don't.
Sesame seeds. So it's like a nut butter, but a sesame butter.
Oh wow, didn't know that.
Very, very calorie dense. Did you scratch an itch on a craving yesterday?
Yeah, I had Five Guys. Actually been craving a burger from them for a while now.
Hold on real quick. I don't know why I have not been feeling like burgers lately.
No?
Not at all.
It'd be like that. You go through your waves.
I've actually been having a hard time just feeling like, what am I in the mood for? If I could have anything I wanted to eat, like calories didn't matter, nothing mattered. What do I feel like eating? I'm like,
Nothing crazy, huh?
I think that literally it comes from having so much balance that food you love it. Like I still love it, but I don't I'm not willing to sell my soul.
Yeah. It's good. You're in a good place.
Yeah, and which is a good place to be.
Because look, yesterday you had your falafel balls fixed and you're good.
Yeah.
So you're not like, I gotta have it again today.
No, I do, but I do. I want to have on my meal plan like the healthy falafel.
Yeah, of course, because you enjoy it.
Because I enjoy it. Because I want to remake that tahini dressing. And for whatever reason, I ordered it through Grubhub, so they delivered it, and I don't know what they were thinking, but it's a win for me. They included 2 packages of the pita pockets that they use. Yeah. 2 like store packages of these fajita pockets in my order bag. I have no idea why they did that.
Little bonus.
But I'm going to use them this week. I'm going to make pitas.
Right.
With the Trader Joe's falafel balls.
Yes, that's cool.
But I'm like,
come in handy.
So weird.
Nothing goes to waste.
Like I wonder why that happened.
Who knows?
It's just so funny.
Human error.
Yeah.
Or they just blessed you.
They were late. Maybe that's why.
Yeah. Yeah, they probably didn't want no bad reviews.
All right. So I want to talk about the controversy that's going on right now. And I'm going to give it a little background because I don't know. I think you've heard of him because I've heard you talk about him.
Yes.
Just in case our listeners don't know. But there's this guy called the Liver King. And I think he's the owner of a company called Ancestral Supplements, or a marketer for it, or I think it's his company. And he has this really crazy physique, very muscular.
Super.
And he goes on podcasts, social media, talking about how he has this physique because he eats organ meat. Liver King is what he's called. Like, so organs, livers, carnivore, total carnivore guy.
Yeah.
And he claims that he has this physique because of the way he eats. So obviously he talks about how most people cannot eat that way. So he has a supplement company that is the way you can get those same benefits by taking his supplements. Well, it came out that he is on steroids.
And the reason that's a big deal, because normally it's not a big deal. It's not a competitor. He doesn't have to answer to nobody. But when you're claiming you're natural and you're, what's he call it? His ancestral diet.
The 9
He has this thing
ancestral, yeah.
Like, oh, we have to eat liver, raw, organ meat, raw. No, buddy, that's not sustainable.
Or take his supplements. Buy his supplements. Yeah. And so that's the funny thing is that, and that's where the problem is. Yeah, that's where the problem lies. Because let me be clear. I actually am not against steroid use.
No.
I just feel like it's a personal thing. It's just like anything else people do to enhance their energy and their strength or whatever. I'm not against it. I've never really been against it. But where it's a problem is with him, he didn't just avoid the topic and just avoid the obvious. So listen, most men looking at him would always say, like, oh, he's sauced to the gills. That's what they would say.
I come from the 90s era bodybuilding. That's so obvious. People who thought he was natural, I'm like, you guys are, dude.
Joe Rogan said
he's on everything under the sun.
Yeah, he's got so much steroids up his butt or something like that. Dude. He literally said that. Like, Joe Rogan was like, no, this guy's not natural. No. The problem is he's been asked point blank many times on
podcasts.
Very popular podcasts.
Yes.
And he blatantly says he has never done them. He doesn't do them. And that he has his body because of the way that he eats.
And trains.
But he accredits it to the organ meat.
The lifestyle.
The lifestyle of doing that, basically, and saying that you can have that too if you do what he does. That's where the problem is. I mean, he is going to get canceled in a major way.
Yeah, it's coming.
To me, there's a big difference between...
Because you're selling your false advertisement, basically. It's like, again, let me go back to the 90s, my era of bodybuilding, the golden year. All these dudes always posting with their shakes and their creatine and they're jacked to the gills. I said, dude, this stuff's not doing nothing for them. I trained with pros, so I know they don't, honestly, the one I trained with, I don't want to put his name out there. He said protein shakes are bullshit. He did all meals. He said pros don't drink protein shakes.
Bro science.
They do all meals, though.
But you know what the thing
is? No protein shakes. That's bullshit. The pros only eat food for their protein. They might chug one with their food.
Yeah, well, look at the kind of muscle that they need, though. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. So.
But this guy, he basically, not only is he taking steroids, he is spending $11,000 a month on these steroids.
You know how much he has to do?
He's taking a lot.
He downplayed it, too. That's pissing people off when he put his apology. He didn't sound sincere. He tried to justify. He goes, well, I was rich before any of this. I had no fame. He goes, now that I'm still rich, but now that I have some fame, I have to come clean. Brother.
Yeah, so basically what he means is, so he had this supplement company, Ancestral Supplements. They've been around before he gained social media notoriety.
Yes.
So he was anonymous and had this supplement company that was very successful, but it made the claims. It jumped on to the carnivore diet fad and the keto diet fad, kind of like, which was part of that. And it made, claims, a lot of health claims. Yeah. As supplement companies do, they make a ton of money. And most people don't know the person behind the company, but then he kind of came out and was, showing his physique, and then he became famous. And I think he got into the fame. He really,
of course.
But he was successful before because he was still selling snake oil.
Yes.
But now he's selling snake oil and literally putting a stamp on his own body with the snake oil, saying, this is what I do. Look at me. And
let me stop you there real quick. You know what would happen to him if that was a publicly traded company and the government found out he was selling false information? He can actually get in trouble criminally.
No, I don't know if it's not public.
I don't think so.
I don't know the rules.
Dr. Oz got in some serious heat for him claiming his miracle in the bottle.
But you know what? Supplements are not regulated like medication.
They're not.
Is.
They're not FDA approved.
It's totally different. And there's a lot of fine print. Read the fine print on supplements.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm sure that he could get sued. There could be lawsuits and stuff coming from this.
Yeah.
Again, because most people are smart about it and they just avoid the topic and they dance around it. They dance around it and avoid the topic.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Of course they do.
So...
Again, it reminds me of the 90s era. Like when I was going to the gyms, and I see these guys ultra jacked, and they're walking around and claiming they're natural, and they're only eating this, and that. And they didn't let me know the secret till they got comfortable, till I was at this gym, and I started looking like one of them. You know what I mean? Like, then they let you in.
Right.
Like the little secret club.
Yeah, like they don't tell you, but
no.
Why don't you give us a little bit of like, because I think there is some false impressions, though, on what steroids are. Like, for one...
It's not bad.
What is steroids? Explain. Do you know what I mean? Like, how do you explain
Testosterone. Testosterone. So I'm a 47-year-old man. If my libido or my testosterone's low, I don't know my natural levels. I think 500-600 maybe. Let's just say they're a third of that. Or your doctor can prescribe you testosterone replacement steroids. Why bodybuilders and athletes use them for recovery though too purposes.
No, but you still didn't explain it. So the reason to take steroids is to elevate your testosterone.
Yes.
Okay.
For most men.
Right. So elevating it. Now there's two types of ways people use steroids, but they also, they like to say hormone replacement therapy because that makes it seem more acceptable.
Yes.
And like through a doctor.
Yes.
But through a doctor, hormone replacement therapy will restore your levels back to where they should be if they are too low.
Correct.
Okay. That's different than $11,000 worth of steroid use. Though that is taking your levels to an astronomical place.
I could tell you, coming from that world, $11,000 worth of steroids is a jackload of gear.
Right.
A lot.
That's
not just steroids. There's growth hormone, which is expensive. I know he's taking that for sure. 100%.
Yeah, for sure. It's like they stack things. So growth hormone.
He said he only does testosterone, only does growth hormone. He probably has Anavar in there, probably has Winstrol in there. All the other things he's lying about. Saying, I don't do anything else but just testosterone
and it's growth hormone. To increase strength and recovery so that they get extremely strong in the gym. So I'm like trying to explain it to someone who has no idea what steroids is.
And so also it increases strength in men. More weights we lift, testosterone, bigger your muscles get.
Not just men, women too.
Women too.
Anyone who takes it.
It's not for women, it's for us. But you guys take it too, but you're not supposed to.
And women take it too, which I'm going to get into that.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
It's not that they're not supposed to. Women have testosterone also.
You do.
It does the same thing to women in that it elevates testosterone levels above where they are naturally. Same thing.
Yes.
Same thing.
True.
So the thing is, it's taking them to astronomical levels. Now, however, it does not create a physique in the absence of exercise. I want to make that clear for people, though, also.
Yes.
People, it just makes you stronger and it makes your workouts more effective. Right?
Yeah.
But it also comes with a lot of other side effects. Just to let you guys know. Like, whenever you play with levels in your body and take anything to a place where it's not naturally designed to be, you got to think of the mechanisms and the organs it's going to mess up in the process.
Because it's synthetic.
It's going to mess something up. So for testosterone, a lot of them have heart attacks because it messes up your heart. Your heart's not designed to deal with that.
Too much pressure.
Too much pressure, too much power. You know, you're not a gorilla's strength on a human heart. That's
what's happening with these pro bodybuilders.
So you're gonna overwork that muscle, the heart, and a lot of bodybuilders die young.
Right around my age.
Right?
40s.
Now, here's the thing. Here's what I've noticed. And this is why, if you ever wonder if somebody is natural or if they are enhanced, if they have a physique, a notable physique, and they don't talk about being natural, they're enhanced. They're taking steroids.
Yes.
Because that is a major bragging point, and they would point it out. Mm-hmm. They would always have a caveat, and I'm natural. And I'm natural. I have this body and I'm natural. If they're natural, they'll always claim it.
Yep.
Do you find that true?
Yep.
If they are on gear, as you would say, most of them, if they won't say they're natural, but they won't say they're not on anything. They'll just kind of like, it's obvious, but they won't come out and say,
yeah,
I'm taking steroids. Yeah. I don't know of anybody that's open about it. Let's talk about something, and these are our opinions. Okay, I'm going to give you my opinions on people that are probably on a significant amount of steroids. The Rock.
And he doesn't talk about it.
But he doesn't say he's natural.
He doesn't say he's natural because he knows we know.
Right.
Even Joe Rogan pointed it out on his podcast. Like, come on, Rock's on everything under the sun.
Right. And does The Rock sell supplements saying this is what your body's going to look like? No. Nope. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's his prerogative to do that to his body.
Why does he do it to his body though?
What do you mean? To get the look.
He needs that look for the movies. That's
to get the
personal.
look.
He's almost stuck in that look, kind of like for now.
Right.
But eventually he's gonna get older and he ain't gonna be able to sustain that look forever.
Another one like
down.
Sylvester Stallone.
Dude,
come on.
He's what? Oh my god, he got busted in Australia with growth hormone.
Oh, he did get busted.
Yeah, he got busted traveling with it. Yeah. Of course, they didn't. But again,
he's not.
Who cares?
The CEO of a supplement company saying that. So I don't think there's anything wrong with it necessarily in terms of ethics.
Yes.
For your own personal self. Now, for your own personal, you got to understand the risks that you're putting on your health. Anytime you take your body to a place that it's not meant to go, mm-hmm. There's going to be risks with that. Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of pro wrestlers die young too. Mm-hmm. Pro wrestlers, a lot of them are on the same situation. They never live a long life. Of course
they are. They don't. No, they don't.
They always die.
Many have died from
heart failure, mm-hmm. stroke. Those are all increased risks when you do that kind of thing.
Mess with your mental health too.
Bad. I just don't think that people know, like the common people, like everyday people, like people that are listening to our podcast, our type of listeners, they don't understand how rampant it is.
It's rampant.
It's rampant.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, like if you see a physique that is like, wow, and they're not saying, hey, I take steroids, or they're not saying I'm natural, mm-hmm. then to me, it's like usually, okay, you can assume that they're probably taking it. There's a lot of YouTube pages that cover it that say like natty or not, like are they natural, are they not?
Mm-hmm.
But it's just funny because a lot of the bodybuilders, even like women, let's talk about women in like the bodybuilding industry, in like the bikini competing, you'd think like the bikini competitors on the pro level, all of them on the pro level, on the Olympia level, yes. are on something.
So what that is, ladies and gentlemen, is creme de la creme of bodybuilding competition, the right. Olympia. So yes, they're on everything.
They're on something, and let me tell you, want to know how you can tell?
Real easy.
Listen to their voice and listen to how it's changed. So if you follow like a fitness competitor for a long time, mm-hmm. challenge you to go back to their old YouTube videos. Scroll all the way back to when they first started their channel and listen before they became a pro. Maybe their road to the pro stage. Then listen to them now. You're going to see you're going to wonder what the heck. When it happens gradually, you can't really tell. But if you go back to old videos, it's like you could really tell. I've done that for a lot of people that I follow and go, oh, she does take stuff.
Yeah.
And another way you can tell yep. is the jawline, like back by your masseter muscle, mm-hmm. it grows. Because when women are elevating their testosterone to male levels, they begin to take on male tendencies, male characteristics. So their bones actually grow. It's not even just muscle growth. The brow bone grows.
Damn.
The bone, by the masseter muscle back here on the jaw grows. So they have very sharp jaw lines Go take a look at like the top 5 bikini pros right now. Take a look. You let me know what you think.
And you know what's crazy is women transition into men. This is what they do for them, right? You give them testosterone.
They give them
load them up. Yeah, you're switching them around
so that they can take on. It deepens the voice. So it's called viralization, and viralization is non-reversible.
Yep.
So these women who are like, they're going hard. They're trying to get, on the Olympia stage or whatever. So they're going hard with all this gear, as we call it. Their voice is not going to return back to a feminine voice. Oh my God, my voice would be so deep because I already naturally have a deep voice. My voice would be like a man.
Well, I don't want that.
It would be crazy.
I dated a fitness chick. Not even dated, really. I hung out like 1 or 2 times with her. And man, I remember we went on a date and then she's ordering the food and talking to the, taking the order. And I'm thinking like, fuck, people are going to think I'm with a dude.
Why? Because it sounded
the voice,
deep.
yes. She was a pro.
I remember
this
that
is before bikini was even around. It was more physique or whatever it was back then.
Yeah, I remember that we knew someone and we hadn't seen her in a really long time. Mm-hmm. And we had seen, we knew her from the gym and we bumped into her somewhere and I was like, she spoke and I was like taken aback.
Yeah.
Because
it's crazy.
Her voice was very deep. And she was clearly like working out and stuff. You could tell her body had changed, but her voice is what like threw me for a loop.
Yeah.
But you just don't realize at the level, not like, I'm not talking about NPC bikini competitors or whatever, but I'm talking about these Olympiad, like top 5.
Not like what your daughter did, entry level.
No.
They're not really doing
I did
much.
it too. I didn't do anything.
No.
But but IFBB pros and the Olympia stage, not all of them are doing like testosterone, but they're like growth hormone is another, what does growth hormone do? Like HGH, when you take it like that. What does it do?
Well, when you stack it with testosterone, it's supposed to not only help also build you up, but it's supposed to lean you out.
It's supposed to help you burn body fat. Really? Interesting.
It's supposed to be like the best for that.
Interesting. Like, I don't know, because I don't know like much about it. But it's one of those things where if you follow somebody at that level and they have a crazy physique and they do not openly talk about the fact that they're natural, then you can assume that they are taking something. And it's important to know that because then you kind of realize, oh, well, no wonder that, all that type of workout. I work out hard. Maybe I buy their workout program, whatever, but I don't look like them.
Yeah.
No,
you're not gonna just because I trained with guys in the gym when I was young that were on juice. I wasn't. I was stronger than them. Sometimes bigger. It's just the way I trained. I trained like an animal. I was a young guy, so I was always trying to get stronger and bigger. I've trained very intense back then.
Another thing is, I know of one in particular. I feel like when something like this happens and someone gets exposed, it's a domino effect. And people start, because the blinders are off, and people start going, wait a minute. So if this guy is taking stuff, then I wonder if this guy is. I wonder if it puts everybody in the same genre, like under the microscope.
Yeah.
So there is others I know of.
You?
Yes.
Gotta try to pretend?
That pretend.
They're like in the corner, like, hopefully they don't come for me next.
Yes. There is one in particular that I know of.
They scream natty?
For a fact.
And they're screaming natural?
Yes.
Time to get exposed.
Yes. I would not get involved in that.
Oh, no.
But I know for a fact, and I have a feeling that person right now is shaking in their boots because of this Liver King. Because, I would say they're kind of like in the same,
He's promoting
space.
Supplements, too?
Promoting everything under the sun. Yeah. Just using your physique to promote, it's, like I said, I don't feel like someone who does steroids owes it to anybody to have to tell people unless
it's no one's business, honestly.
Unless they are selling something and using their physique and saying, this is how I got here, and if you buy this from me and I'm going to make a lot of money from it, you can get it too. But that's really not true. I mean, that's false. That's fraud. It's a scam.
Yeah. That's
what you call a scam, right? So that's where I have a problem. But I don't, and I also feel like, now there is also, there's illegal steroid use because unfortunately, like, people get it on the black market and you don't really know what's in it or whatever. That's more dangerous. But,
Super
you can also use steroids. They're called PEDs, also performance enhancing drugs, that are prescribed from your doctor.
That's what they call them in the MMA world, because a lot of
PEDs?
Fighters get tested and some pop, they get busted.
Yeah, because
PEDs.
It's not allowed.
No,
right?
Hell no.
Because then they have an unfair advantage.
Yes.
But like, I know for women, there's something called hormone replacement therapy, because when you reach a certain age, your estrogen levels drop and your hormones get out of whack. But if you go to a doctor, they test your hormones and they will give you the different hormones you need, bioidentical hormones, to get your levels back on track so that you mitigate the symptoms that come along with that. Yeah. So I plan on doing that for sure. As soon as I have symptoms, actual symptoms, where I feel like my hormones are out of whack, I'm going to do hormone replacement therapy.
That's what makes us crazy when hormones are out of whack.
Yeah, but see, for men, like in their 40s or whatever, if you go to the doctor and your testosterone is plummeted and you take hormone replacement therapy to get you back to normal levels, that's not what we're talking about here with the Liver King. The Liver King is taking astronomical amounts to become superhuman.
So here's the problem with that Liver King and this whole apology that he did. Not that I care. I don't follow the dude. I never believed in his methods.
Yeah, you never believed. You always said he was.
It's unsustainable. Who the hell's gonna eat raw liver? Let's be honest. Who's gonna go to a restaurant? I want raw liver, bloody, and gonna eat in front of everybody. Get out of here. He just found a niche, and you always find dummies that follow you. Like, oh, this guy's cool. He's yoked, and he's wearing this like old school Viking kind of warrior. The way he dresses and his workouts.
He's always shirtless and.
Yes, I get it. You're promoting your business. That's your thing. But dude. Stop it with my doctor prescribing. I'm only taking 0.6 cc's of testosterone. No, you're not, bro. You're so lying, dude. You're about like 3 cc's, and if not more.
Why is he spending $11,000 then?
He's trying. What he's doing is apologizing, but he's kind of dumbing it down.
He's trying.
I'm not on that much stuff like people think I am. Like, yeah, you are, bro.
He's trying not to take
exposed.
Full accountability.
Yes,
but see, he got exposed because his supplier or someone that he worked with or was helping him with it exposed him.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So he had to come out, and it's basically he admitted only the bare minimum of what he needed to admit to, basically.
Yes. Like he came clean, but he's trying to like, you come clean, but then you're trying to like dummy it down, like, oh, well, I'm on prescription, and what I'm doing is by a doctor and closely monitored. Brother, who the F are you fooling?
Yeah, but you said point blank on many podcasts, which I went and listened to before I recorded this one. He said it like dozens of times.
Yeah.
And not only that, he insulted people that were taking them. He calls like people that are beneath him or whatever, like subprimal. Oh no, that's so subprimal. And he would say that, like steroids subprimal. He would like talk crap about it.
Yeah.
And he, that's what makes him, I don't know how he's going to recover.
And what's funny is all these people with these shticks, it works for a while. They get people on board, they do good, and then something along the line just breaks it, and then the fat goes away. That's probably what's going to happen with him now. Yeah,
so it's going to impact. I feel bad for other people that are kind of in that same space, in that I feel like it's even going to trickle into keto. It's going to trickle into carnivore, keto, everything kind of, because it was like keto was the umbrella, and then intermittent fasting broke off from it, all the recent fads, and then carnivore kind of broke off from it. Those were like the little fads.
Yeah.
It's going to trickle into all of that and impact everybody that's involved in those spaces for sure. And it's going to make people second guess everything. People already don't trust. Now they're really not going to, trust.
And you know what's crazy about all that? Like what you're just saying about keto, carnivore, his shtick, whatever, all these shticks. We all try all these different diets, and like keto worked great for me. But at the end of the day, it's the best one, in my opinion, is what you teach, balance, because that's realistic balance. Let's be realistic. You're going to go to family events. You got to make a choice. Am I going to eat the food here, or am I going to just starve myself, watch everybody eat? Or can I eat here, but it'd be balanced? You can eat.
You know what's funny is I was really trying to think back to when I started to question whether or not I was going to stay keto or move on. And I was remembering some of those thought processes I had back then. And keto only worked for me when I was tracking calories. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I would gain weight. So it worked. It was effective, but I had to track.
Yeah, me too.
So then I started to think, wait a minute. But if it only works when I track, what if I still track, but I track and eat carbs and eat, everything?
Yeah.
Will it still work?
Yeah, carbs, fats, proteins.
Yeah, but everybody was saying no, that it wouldn't. That carbs is more like white flour, white bread, makes you fat, blah, blah, blah. Yes. And so, I was happy with my physique at the time. It wasn't that I was not happy with my physique, but I was just unhappy with I just felt limited to what I could eat. I started to feel really restricted. And I didn't like that feeling. I feel like I'm uncaged, like I'm going to be an uncaged animal soon. I felt it coming on.
And you're a disciplined person. So imagine the rest of people who aren't. Right.
So I just started to think like, I started to just do my research more. Because prior to keto, I ate a high protein diet when I was a fitness competitor, but I ate a meal plan from my coach and I didn't track my macros. So the first time I tracked macros was actually when I started keto, and it wasn't working for me. After it worked initially, then it stopped working. Then I'm like, oh shoot, did a little more research. Like, oh, I'm way overeating my calories.
Yep.
That was actually the first time I ever tracked macros, because when I was competing, I just let my coach do my macros, and I just ate exactly what he told me to eat. So I didn't have to track.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the first time I tracked macros and incorporated carbs and all that was when I quit keto. And it was a test. First I did low carb. And then I just slowly started increasing. I'm like, oh, it's just the calorie deficit. And then it just really like solidified my feelings on all these other diets. And they're just a means to an end. That's what it opened my eyes. It took the blinders off, because every single diet out there is just a means to get you into a deficit.
And how many of them have been around that are all fats? The Hollywood, the cayenne pepper with lemon, South Beach.
Yeah, gimmicks. They're
Hollywood.
Gimmicks.
Gimmicks. My goodness, you guys. They all don't work. They might initially work. Yay, I'm losing weight. Boom, boom, boom. And boom, you fall off. And then you gain it back and then some with a vengeance.
Well, yeah, because it's gimmicks. It's getting you to eat. It's a gimmick. And then at the end of the day, if you calculate up that gimmick, well, yeah, if your diet adds up to 600 calories a day, you're going to lose a lot of weight. The HCG diet.
That one too. I knew people on the HCG diet. I never understood it. Like, oh, you got to take this HCG shot and eat this many calories. I'm like,
it's like, you don't need the shot. The shot makes people think, ooh, this must really work, because I actually have to get a shot. It's just a B12 shot. You go take your B vitamins.
There you go, guys.
It's just a B12 shot, but it's a gimmick. So they think, oh my God, it's this shot that's doing something. No. It's the 500 calories you're eating.
Yes.
That's what's doing something.
Yes.
Because you are eating an extreme deficit.
Yes.
But guess what's going to happen if you only eat 500 calories? You're going to lose your lean muscle.
Yes.
Your lean body, your skeletal muscle. You're going to lose it.
Yep.
Your lean body mass, you're going to lose it.
Your hair, your nails is going to...
Hair and nails going to fall out. Your skin's going to look bad. There's been a lot of things that happen. You're not just going to lose body fat. You will also lose body fat, though. But if you eat 500 calories for an extended period of time, and then, your metabolism is going to be slow. So initially, when you start eating normal again, you're going to gain some weight back.
Yeah.
And you're going to have a really hard time controlling yourself around food, too.
It's because your body, when you deplete yourself that bad and you put excess calories back in, boom. It's like it just starts storing them like crazy.
Yeah, I mean, because your metabolism slows down when you eat less. It speeds up when you eat more. So if you throw that's why if you have a high calorie day and then you go right into the next day a low calorie, you've elevated your metabolism on the day that you ate more calories. And so it's kind of like a nice jump start when you go back to eating back to your calorie deficit the next day, because your metabolism is elevated from the excess calories from the day before.
Yeah.
Your body, it adjusts constantly. It's not necessarily damaged. It just adjusts. It adapts. It's meant to do that. Luckily, it does. That's a good thing.
It's just, this human body of ours is very intricate and complicated.
But yeah, it's just funny because it was like the blinders came off and I realized so every other single diet out there that works, it only works because it's putting you in a calorie deficit with a gimmick.
Yes.
So people buy into the gimmick.
And for a long time, people try to get away and around it. Calories in, calories out. You can't. It's like grief. You got to go through it. Same thing. Calories in, calories out. That has not been debunked.
Yeah.
If you eat in a deficit,
and the funny thing,
weight.
what I hear a lot, because I do have a couple questions from people who had some questions on my Instagram, so I'm going to go over those. Okay. And one of those questions is it true that if I undereat, I could gain weight? Like my body I'll store body fat if I eat less. It's actually impossible to undereat and store body fat, because you can't make something out of nothing.
Yeah, of course.
You cannot make fat cells out of nothing, and you will have nothing left if you're undereating. Meaning, if you are eating less calories than your body needs to function, then there's nothing left to store as body fat. So that is a myth. It's a huge myth.
I remember that myth.
How that myth came about is because, so let's just go back to the HCG diet. If you have undereaten for a significant period of time and you lost weight while you were undereating, then you go from eating 500 calories and now you're going to eat 2,000 calories a day. Then you're going to gain weight and you're going to gain it fast. It's going to come back fast, right? And so you're thinking like, oh, it's because I underate. No, it's actually because now you're overeating and your metabolism, your body was adjusted downward. It had some time and it probably adapted to less calories. So now it's going to store as soon as you give it some calories to store. But you cannot make fat cells out of nothing. So starving yourself, it would be impossible. Not that I don't want you to starve yourself, because there's a lot of other problems, but I'm just saying that is a common myth. Someone says like, oh, I'm gaining weight because I'm undereating. No, that's actually impossible.
Impossible.
It's not possible. So somebody, is lying to you.
Yeah. Fake news.
Yeah. Another person asked me, is it normal to gain weight in maintenance? Now, if you go on a calorie deficit for a period of time and then you go into maintenance mode, which means you bump up your calories, first of all, you have to determine what that calorie number is for you now. Because at the beginning of your weight loss journey, your maintenance calories would be different than they would be at the end, because now you're smaller. So your maintenance calories are actually less.
I see.
And a lot of people don't understand that. So
you can't go back to your original, whatever it was.
Right. So if originally you used to eat 2,000 calories a day and you maintained at that weight, but now you went on a diet and you lost 30 pounds, your maintenance calories are no longer 2,000 calories, because you are now someone who's 30 pounds lower. Yeah, so your maintenance calories may be something more like 1,800, 1,900. Okay, so that's one factor. Going back to maintenance calories that aren't actually accurate for you anymore. So the first thing you need to do is determine what your maintenance is. But important to know that yes, in maintenance, you are now refilled. So you're no longer in a depleted state. When you're in a deficit, meaning you are losing weight consistently, right? That means you are in a state where your body is needing to dip into fat storage to function every day.
Yeah.
So that means all your glycogen goes empty, everything empties out, and your body dips into fat storage and you lose fat week over week over week. When you start eating in maintenance, the first thing that will happen is it'll replenish storage. So you'll now be replenished. You'll no longer be in a depleted state. That could be like 3 pounds or so.
Yeah.
So if you enter into a maintenance phase at 120 pounds, you can expect that you are probably going to live around 123 or so. And that does not mean you gain body fat. That just means that now you're in a replenished state. You're not depleted. That's why people that go on a diet lose weight fast initially. It's because you're losing the stores first. You're losing your water storage, your glycogen storage, because all of that, your body has like a little tanks. And in order to get to the fat storage tank, it has to deplete those tanks first. So when you go out of the deficit, it puts those tanks back in. So it gains back those pounds. So those fast pounds that you lose at the beginning of a diet, it gets them back when your diet is over. And it doesn't mean it's fat. You're not gaining fat. So that's another thing that freaks people out. And that's what gets them into a yo-yo cycle. Because if someone goes on a diet, a fat loss phase, a cut, whatever you want to call it, and then they stop and go to maintenance and immediately put on some weight, they're going to freak out and go back to their deficit because they want to go back to that number. They're fixated on that number, but don't do that. You don't need to do that. And you need to be out of your deficit for a while. It's important.
Yeah, it is important.
And as long as you're hovering around that 3 to 4 pounds, you're fine. You're just going from a depleted to a replenished state, and it's not fat. Now, if you start to creep up, if you put on that initial 3 pounds, 4 pounds, but it goes to 5 and 6, then you need to look at, are you really in maintenance? Are you in the correct maintenance for you? Maybe you need to reevaluate that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you start just loosening the reins because you're not dieting anymore. Another question I got from a listener is, how do I tone up at home without going to the gym? That was a specific question. How do I tone up at home without going to the gym? Okay, so let me just explain what toning up means. People, for whatever reason, think that toning up is something different than losing weight. I think people's perception of toning up is being able to see muscle definition in their body.
Yes.
Seeing muscle definition in their shoulders, seeing muscle, their bicep, their stomach looking like you could see the lines of that's people's perception of what toning up means. And they associate that with working out, which it is partly to do with working out, but it really comes from losing fat and exposing the muscle that's there.
Yes.
So it doesn't necessarily, it's not directly affected by exercise.
Like what you did with me when I did keto. Remember we took progress pics and it showed every week like a little bit of layers coming off.
Yeah,
like
it's
the naked
fat.
eye can't see it.
So,
but we saw it through pictures.
Perception is that toning up means your muscles are getting harder or whatever. But truth is, toning up just means you're losing enough body fat to where you're exposing muscle on your body. And guess what? Everybody has muscle. Or else you're like a jellyfish. You wouldn't even be able to move. You wouldn't even be able to stand up if you didn't have muscle. Muscle is what allows us to move.
It would freak people out if they could snap their fingers and all of a sudden, let's just say a man is 25%. Snap his finger, close his eye, open his eyes, and all of a sudden it's 10%. It's going to blow his mind like, I didn't know I had all these muscles.
Yeah.
Yeah, because your body fat's covering all that up.
Yeah.
Now you're super lean.
Right.
Now you're like, whoa, it blows your mind. It does.
Right.
Changing your body.
For example,
everybody has it though.
When I did my first bikini competition,
I
did my prep in 11 weeks. I did not put on a single molecule of muscle in 11 weeks.
No.
Because I was on a big deficit to lose the fat I had on my body. I was very muscular at the end of that 11 weeks. It wasn't new muscle. It was muscle I had been carrying around for years. It just got exposed because I got my body fat so low. So I was able to see the muscle on my body. Now, since then, have I put on muscle on my body significantly? Like at least 10 pounds of muscle on my small frame since then, almost, long time ago, 10 years ago. But now if I got my body fat super low and I compared it to pictures then, you would see my muscles look much larger now. Yeah. But to answer specifically this person's question, so how do you tone up from home? Well, to tone up, you want to basically be preserving your muscle, if not trying to put some on. And there's 3 things you can do on how to tone up from home. First of all, get some dumbbells. You need to do resistance training.
Have to.
At least 3 to 5 times a week, 45 minutes to an hour, like 5 hours a week of resistance training. There's tons of exercises you can look up. If you're part of my program, I give them to you on the app. You have a program to follow, and I can create programs from home. But you can also look it up on the internet. Look up, resistance training exercises with dumbbells from home or whatever. You could find videos on the internet. You need to do that consistently and create, a stimulus in your muscles because you need to tell your body, hey, I need to grow these muscles. Number 2 is you need to eat an adequate amount of protein while you're doing this in order to preserve the muscle you do have and support muscle growth. If you don't, you're going to be spinning your wheels. If you exercise, but you're not eating protein, you're not going to support muscle growth and you're not going to prevent muscle loss. And number 3, because toning really is losing body fat so that you could see the muscle, you got to be in a deficit. Meaning you have to consume less calories than you burn. But if your focus really is on putting on muscle during that process, you don't want the deficit to be too large. You want a real small calorie deficit so that you lose a little bit of body fat, but not too much to where your body will sacrifice some muscle in the process.
Yeah.
And that's how you tone up from home. There's the answer. Can it be done? Yes, absolutely.
Yes, it can.
100%.
100%. A lot of people during the pandemic, a lot of my friends bought weights and worked out at home while the gyms were shut down.
And keep in mind that most people just think like, gosh, this is a lot of protein. It's really not that much protein. A lot of the guidelines that are out there are the minimum protein requirements to support your current muscle. So keep that in mind. They're not guidelines that are going to help you support muscle growth. So the generic guidelines that are out there, it's usually not enough protein. I can tell you this, if you're on the keto diet, especially women on the keto diet, you're probably not getting enough protein to make any impact with muscle and to prevent muscle loss. You really need to be consuming the right amount of protein for you, and that is very individualized. And no, it's not some generic, times 0.6 of your goal body weight or something like that.
I know. You remember that?
Yeah,
old school formula?
Dumb. It's not. It's based on your own individual, what your body fat is, what your lean body mass is, and what your goal is. Are you just trying to go for fat loss right now, or are you trying to put muscle? If you're trying to put on muscle while you're losing fat, your protein is going to be a little higher. So weight loss plus toning up, that's a goal. Most people pick that goal on my program. It means it's a modest deficit with a resistance training program. So it's not a fast deficit. I don't even do like fat loss only program.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy about today's era and women working out that I see in the gyms that I've noticed is women aren't afraid to put in that hard work no more. They're in there crushing weights.
No, I know.
When I was at 24 Hour Fitness, majority of the women stayed in the cardio area. I call that the swimming pool. The ocean was the weight room. I always said, they're staying on the swimming pool area.
Yeah.
But now women get in, they're strong. You can see in their bodies and their physiques, they've learned. They've gotten smarter, they're leveled up.
Yeah, because
women don't look at themselves like, oh, I'm weak, I'm a woman, I can't lift. That's out of the bag. Strong bodies are sexy too. Don't get it twisted. Muscles are sexy. There's
and if you lift, you're basically like sending an email to your muscles that's saying, hey, muscles, can you please grow? I need you. I'm using you.
Yeah.
I need you to be stronger. I need this weight to feel easier the next time I pick it up. That's what you're just sending a message to your muscle. So I want you to think about that the next time you're working out, because you can't just throw around the weights.
No.
You have to work out with intention.
Yes.
So if you're doing a bicep curl, I want you to be thinking about your bicep muscle. And I want you to think about, I'm sending an email, dear bicep muscle, this feels hard. Next time I do it, I want it to be a little easier. What's your bicep muscle going to do? Okay, well, we'll grow a little bigger. Susie Q ate enough protein though, or else I would reply to her email saying, I can't do that for you because there's no protein to grow the muscle.
Yeah.
Right? So if you send the email and the protein is there, it'll say, okay, well, we're going to give that to the bicep because she's using her bicep and she needs help with the bicep. And that's why it's important to use the muscles that you want to grow.
Hello.
A resistance training program.
Yes.
And whatever it is, and people kind of fixate on, do I need to do this exercise or that exercise? Guess what? Your body actually doesn't know what exercise you're doing. It doesn't know if you have a barbell or a dumbbell or whatever. It's just what muscle you're using to make that happen. You know what I mean? Like sometimes people fixate on the type of exercise and they think that their program needs to change up a lot, or not really.
No. You don't need to complicate it. Yeah. Same thing when we do in fighting. We always say stick to the basics. The fancy stuff is pretty. Spinning elbows and spinning heel kick, that's pretty. It's all about the basic stuff. You don't need that extra stuff.
Okay, so last question is, I got, do supplements work? What supplements do you recommend? It's funny because it's coming off of this Liver King thing. Supplements can be a tool. Okay.
A tool.
There is yet no magic snake oil pill that gives you your dream body.
Nope.
Okay.
Not there yet.
But I'll give you a list of supplements that do work and what they work for, in my opinion. Caffeine. So yeah, I consider caffeine a supplement, whether you are drinking a shot of espresso or you're taking some sort of a fat burner that has caffeine in it or whatever. What does caffeine do? It gives you energy, so it's going to help you get a more effective workout, and it suppresses your appetite. Those are two tangible things that taking a caffeine supplement can do for you.
Yes.
When it comes to supplements, you got to do what works best for you. And if you have health conditions or whatever, you need to consult your doctor. I'm not a doctor. I'm just telling you, in my opinion, these are supplements that actually do something that's tangible. Number 2 is creatine. It is one of the most researched supplements on the market. They used to consider...
And it's been around for a minute now.
They used to consider creatine. In fact, people actually think like, isn't creatine a steroid?
Dude, yes.
Right? Didn't people think like, oh my God, that's a steroid?
You can't take it as a fighter. You know that? I don't think.
They don't let you?
Certain organizations, you have to be careful.
Because creatine does have proven track record to make you stronger. It does the same thing that taking steroids can do, just not as intensely.
Yes.
But it pulls muscle on water into your muscles, and you become stronger when you're taking creatine. And there's a lot of good studies that back it up. So creatine is a good one. Now, there's also side effects with supplements, so keep that in mind. Same with the caffeine. There could be side effects, heart palpitations, anxiety, things like that. Creatine has side effects also. So make sure you look into that, and with everything, always check with your doctor. But even for women, I read some women suffer from a little bit of hair loss with creatine. So if you're already struggling with thin hair or whatever, you might want to pay attention to that. Whey is another excellent supplement. Consider any type of protein that is not food is a supplement to me. So it's excellent. It's an excellent tool to help you get to your protein goal.
I never looked at it that way.
Yeah,
but you're right. It is like a supplement.
Yeah, it is. So it's a tool to help you get to your protein goal. It shouldn't be the only thing you're doing to get your protein. You should be getting the majority from food and then supplement with protein powder to get you to that goal. And pre-workout is another one. So pre-workout, because it has actual tangible effects. You are more focused. The mind-muscle connection is improved. There's 2 ingredients that specifically help with the prevention of burning when you're working out, so that you can actually push a little harder. That's beta-alanine. I don't like taking pre-workout that contains beta-alanine because it makes you itchy. I don't like it. But there's also another ingredient in pre-workouts that also helps, that's sodium bicarbonate, and that one doesn't make you itchy. So the pre-workout I take is from InnoSup Store Maker. It doesn't have the beta-alanine in it because I don't like the feeling of being itchy. But the pre-workout still helps me. It has caffeine in it, so it gives me a little pump. It gives me a little energy, but it also helps with the mind-muscle connection. So those are the ones that work for me in terms of tangible results. A lot of other supplements are kind of just like, close your eyes, cross your fingers, and hope that they're doing something. I do take, I take vitamins and things like that. Those are kind of different. I put those in a different category because vitamins I just think are plugging holes in my nutrition. So things we can't get from
all your food sources
that I'm probably not getting because I'm not having a perfect diet all the time. So that's where vitamins comes into play, but it's not as tangible. When it comes to vitamins, you just have to kind of like, it's kind of blind faith a little bit for the most part. Except I have to say, I take a hair, skin, and nails supplement from InnoSubs that I've been taking for like 6 months. And for the first time in my entire life, I soaked the acrylic off of my nails. And my nails have always been brittle, paper thin, horrible nails. And my nails are thick, and these are natural. I have gel coating on them, but I have a video literally before they put the gel on that I couldn't believe.
They look healthy.
The thickness of my nails. I could not believe how thick they were. I could not believe how good they looked. So I had to stop and think like, okay, what am I taking? What have I been taking? I'm not going to change anything because this is the first time I actually it was a tangible result.
But it's all adding up, it's not
just the supplement.
Yes.
Right. It's my diet. It's getting in protein. It's not being in a calorie deficit all the days of my life because when you're in a calorie deficit, your hair, skin, nails suffers. It's the first thing that suffers when you're in a deficit. And that's why you shouldn't be in a deficit forever. It's temporary. Come in and out of it.
Yes.
Because
no one stays in a deficit.
Right. They don't. And because I haven't been on a deficit for the past year, I just recently cut back a little bit. Just last week started, but I haven't been in a deficit and my nails show. So I was shocked when I saw it. But anyways, you guys, that's it for today.
That's it for today.
That's it for today.
Anything else?
Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you on the next episode.